to someone because of that, but I think there's an undeniable benefit. Yeah.
How often do you find that your opinions and thoughts are not taken seriously because you're attracted?
Often. Is your opinion of me changing? It depends how I meet people. If I meet people in a bar, they get a handful, and they don't always expect it.
Yeah, they're less interested in the cognitive ability than some of your other attributes.
I think so, especially because I can dress pretty scandalously.
Yeah.
And, a tight dress, short skirt, 5-inch high heels, and I'm out at a bar. Yeah, not every guy is expecting to hear someone's Supreme Court analysis of, who just goes to law school as a hobby. Yeah.
Do you expect men to relate to you the same way if you dress scandalously or if you dress conservatively? Do you expect them to be equally interested in your mind? If you
you asked two different questions.
Okay.
The first one, I expect the same respect, regardless of how I dress.
Even if you dress like a hooker, you still expect to be treated like it's free.
Yeah. I mean, if you are hooting and hollering on the street, I don't think there's any dress that says that that's appropriate.
If guys are hooting and hollering at you as you walk down the street, if you got a really short skirt, you've got rip tights. But if a guy goes, "Whoo, nice legs, baby," that's inappropriate.
Why do men do that? What do they want? I mean, fine, good for them. I've never understood. I don't think it's respectful. I guess I'm not going to pick a bone with that. If you were dressed a certain way, I would dress that way to feel sexy or sexual, and I would never ask a man to ignore that. I wouldn't dress like that to go to temple for a certain reason. I wouldn't dress like that around my parents for a certain reason. But I'm entitled to dress that way when I go out, and I don't expect it to be ignored, but I think that there's a way to be respectful, and if you want to be attracted to the person and to be attracted to the person, I think men just assume that you're one or the other, and they make that judgment really quickly. I tend to be really attracted to men who are smart. It's one of the first things that can attract me to someone, and maybe because I think they're more likely to respect me on an intellectual, academic level.
How important, like, are visual cues, do you think, for male attraction?
Incredibly important.
Okay, so if they're incredibly important, if men are going to relate to you either as a sexual being or as a cognitive being, then what implications does that have for how you dress?
If I am dressed sexually and out at a bar, I don't expect someone to come up to me and start a conversation on Nietzsche. But I mean, it just depends. The devil is in the details here. It depends. You can be attracted to someone and relate to them on a purely sexual level and be respectful. That's what I would expect. Yeah. You can. You disagree?
I'm just teasing.
I think that someone can...
You can be sexual and respectful.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean...
Maybe in the secular world.
Well, clearly. It's not even an option in your world. But I think it's... I actually feel like sometimes I get pigeonholed the other way, too. If I know someone...
Pigeonholed is too smart?
Yeah, if I know someone, like, from school, law school, or the writing world,
yeah.
I think they can be surprised negatively in what I might look like.
In a little skirt with rip tights?
Yeah, they might feel like, they might not...
Do they think they judge you for dressing like
I felt that way at my school, at my Christian law school. I felt very judged.
When you wear ripped tights and short skirts
yeah.
to law school.
But I had the right to wear that, and I would never complain about someone looking at that. That's you have to be willing to take that.
You don't say, "Hey, my eyes are up here, buddy."
I wouldn't, but if I'm sitting in class and I'm talking, and you discount my opinion because my skirt is short, I have an issue with that.
And tights are ripped.
Yeah, you can look, and you can also listen to what I'm saying.
Have you noticed it having an effect on your professors?
I've never slept with my professor. Why do you keep asking me?
I was just curious if they're related to you differently if you dress provocatively.
Probably. Yeah. I think there's nothing more powerful than feeling sexual as a woman and feeling respected intellectually.
Simultaneously.
Yeah. It's like you're, speaking of being on top of the world, that's when you feel like on top of the world. Yeah. Is this different from what most people say?
No, I think this is typical of what most women in their 20s who are traditional say.
But as a man, you believe they're mutually exclusive.
If I'm relating to a woman sexually, I can't really relate to her so much cognitively, and if I'm relating to her primarily, I don't know, I'm thinking out loud. I don't have a lot of discussions of Nietzsche when I'm having sex. I remember I was with I was with this one woman, like we'd met at a Shabbat dinner, we went back to her place, one thing led to another, we're in bed, we're having sex, and she says, "I'd like to talk about Torah while I'm having sex." I generally haven't been able to pull that off. Like I was able to relate to her sexually at that moment, but it was a little more of a stretch to relate to her in a Torah way.
That's shocking. That's some scary, dirty talk.
I feel like I'm lacking as a guy because you said
that's
I want to feel sexual and intellectually respected at the same time.
But it's not a complaint on my part. I find that I'm never more turned on or more excited or more attracted to someone than in those moments. When I feel like I can feel sexy and feel like I am having this great conversation with a person.
I remember interviewing this woman. She was very sexy and she was very accomplished. And so I thought it'd be really cool to hear her talk about these very abstract academic things while we were being sexual. I thought, well, that was just in my head. I didn't do anything about that. I thought that was interesting. Have her talk to me about Nietzsche a while. Do you think that you're sexually harassing men if you dress in a provocative way?
They certainly aren't complaining to me about harassment. I think it depends where you are. I think it's only appropriate in certain places.
Like law school.
When you have to go there every day. I worked for the U.S. Attorney's Office this past year. I dressed pretty professional.
You didn't wear ripped tights, short skirts?
I wore tight suits and high heels.
Boy, those arms must have loved you.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I bet they couldn't wait for you to leave so they could... I even dressed professionally for the Public Defender's Office when not everyone did. But when you're at school and you're a student, I feel like you're entitled to dress how you want to dress. And I, for the most part, never complain about the attention it would get. I recognize that one elicits the other, and I think that's fair. I think in the wrong place, it probably is harassing. I mean, that's a strong word, but if I dress provocatively at temple on Yom Kippur, oh yeah, that would be harassment. I don't think inappropriate. What do you like to wear at a temple for Yom Kippur?
I always wear a long skirt, low heels, because I'm tower over everyone, especially sea of Jewish people. And